Yeah, or burn a start as well. I love that dumb blue cane. Really fun to use that to kill blind. And we are off. Uncle is apparently error from Zelda 2. And 50 rupees to start us off here in the Link's house.
Yep, so won't have to worry about needing money for bombs here. So I've already got that covered in case we don't find any.
Alright, looks like we're syncing up our runners there. Alright, what do we got here? It is the fire rod.
That's a pretty nice nice item to start with.
That's right, and we also have here fighter shield.
Alright, so fire rod and a shield to start out with. Now, one thing with the fire rod, I mean, you'll have plenty of magic to be able to kill any of the enemies that you come across here, or at least the required enemies, and some left over. So we may get a chance to see them, take a couple fire rod shots at some of these guards, maybe at a couple of the rats or the ropes in the back of Escape to try to get some bombs to open up that bombable wall.
Yeah, one of my absolute favorite things to do with the fire rod in particular, and wow, is that even randomized? Anyway, one of my favorite things to do with the fire rod is to actually try to get double hits with it. You can actually sometimes use one shot and kill 2 enemies with it. Sometimes more.
Yeah, that's very useful in that hallway in the back of Escape where the that little narrow hallway with the little ropes in there. You can take out 2, sometimes 3 of them with one fire rod shot if you're lucky.
Oh, there's a bomb for both runners at the same time.
Well, don't need to worry about bombs now. That is the single bomb that we need for the escape.
Wow, so... wow, our runners are in perfect sync. Step by step, room for room. Although Michael K has spent a little bit more magic than JP has. And we have flippers. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a really interesting early find. So, depending on rupees, we could immediately go from the South Shore route immediately into Zora and Hobo and route that in very nicely.
You know what? I'm gonna predict something here. Ice Palace is a pendant. Because short of Moon Pearl and Titans, we have everything we need to enter. And clear the dungeon. Well, we need the hammer as well, but we can at least poke around in there a little bit.
Yeah, it honestly wouldn't surprise me. A lot of times these early items that you get will make you think, oh man, that's a dungeon that I can go and do, and that's a dungeon that I'm going to have to complete, and then it turns out to be a pendant dungeon that you never have to step into.
But we have seen in the past, on this very tournament even, pendant dungeons paying off huge for runners. Alright, so both runners are about to enter the sewers here. Hopefully they don't get damaged too much by these snakes. They are going to do a fair amount of damage if they get caught.
And Mike will go ahead and get in that full health refill from that single heart under that pot there.
Wow, Michael K getting some excellent RNG. Didn't even need to attack any of the snakes in that hallway.
Ooh, and there's a 4-bomb drop for him there as well.
Yeah, he's good on bombs now. Alright, time for the... I would say final boss, but yeah. And right there for Brewers is a perfect example of getting a double kill with the fire rod.
Yeah, that was beautiful fire rod out there from JP.
And Brewers also getting a 5-bomb or 4-bomb drop from that as a result. And we have a piece of heart, a big 20, and another big 20 here. So, something to note here, Brewers can buy the merchant, but Michael K cannot, and that's because Brewers got an extra 20 out of the rats.
Yeah, he does have those rupees now, but, you know, Michael will be able to pick up some rupees in the bottom of the well and the blind set, so shouldn't be too bad for him.
Wow.
Ooh, and there's the mirror there.
Yeah, very nice item to find as well.
So we got flippers, we got mirror. I'm thinking Swamp Palace at some point too.
And we have all crystals in the light world, with Hera being one of our 5/6. So the chance of Turtle Rock not being required is actually fairly high, and that's actually a significant time save. If it doesn't have anything we need.
Yeah, and seeing all the light world being crystals, you know, kind of brings back to that point you made earlier with that Ice Palace likely being a, or having the possibility of being a pendant dungeon with that fire rod and those flippers. So we'll see how this goes.
And we're seeing Michael K going to Eastern. And Lumberjack is not required this seed, so the only time we're fighting Ag is with Darkwood access.
Yeah, and unless the Moon Pearl is hidden away somewhere back there, then I mean, we already have the flipper, so we do have East Dark World access once we do get into the Dark World, of course.
And a little bit of extra bombs for Michael K along with the heart container. Choosing also not to talk to Sarasa and getting a little extra information. And there's 10 bombs there. I unfortunately was looking away and did not see the mushroom item.
The mushroom was just a red rupee this time around. JP decided to pick that up to get his rupee count up there a little bit higher. So Michael K doing pretty interesting, you know, routing strategies here. JP is kind of doing your standard route, but it's kind of interesting to see the changes here.
Well, once again, these runners are 1 and 2, so they've got to get whatever edge they can in order to stay alive in terms of making it to the bracket stages. So I can appreciate their gambles. And speaking of which, hello there, Ice Rod. And hello, Kana Samaria.
Both really nice finds. Alright, so Michael is in the mini Mulderham Cave right now. There's 5 items back here. And I don't know, mini Mulderham Cave seems like it's one of those locations that just seems to be loaded more often than not.
Wow. And Northern Does Bomb, as we are checking the well over here on Brewer's Hand. So far, nothing good. Except blue mail on Brewer's part. And a sword for Michael K.
All right, so Mini Moldorm Cave having our first sword of the day. So that Salastar route is paying off a bit for Michael here.
Ooh, taking a hit from that crab.
It's got to be a little bit careful here.
Oh, hello. Brewers fan found the hammer in the chicken hut.
Yeah, so both runners finding some decent weapons here. You know, Michael getting that first sword, JP getting that hammer, and 300 rupees.
That puts Zor right in the front of his mind, most likely.
Yeah, just
Oh,
a couple
not quite.
rupees away from it.
Yeah. I thought that was enough to give him 500. I did my math wrong. Whoops. Alright, Ice Rock Cave. Only another single rupee. Library. Nothing required there.
Yeah, I think this route will pay out really well for JP because he'll likely do the South Shore area from here. And I believe we found some rupees along the way in that Mini Moldorm Cave as well, so he should be able to make his way up to Zora and route all this in very nicely.
And our island is the 10 bomb. That is the one you will get from Uncle if the seed decides you want to have a bomb start. And looks like Brewers fan checked the race game and it looks like it was nothing important, so.
Yep, just a blue rupee on that ledge, so not worth going out of your way for.
A little extra money at Hobo. And Brewers fan will be getting their ice run just a little bit.
You know, I'm gonna say I don't really know if I like finding Ice Rod this early because it's one of those items. You know, everybody knows it's that one item that can really be anywhere. But at the same time, it also just makes it, you know, that Turtle Rock like a huge possibility at this point. You know, having already found Kane both rods.
And a couple of red items there for Michael K. The red boomerang and a red potion.
And JP making really good use of that Kane of Samaria here to take out these mini Moldorms.
Yeah, the block and the shots do fighter sword damage, so very nicely done. And he will soon be getting a sword. And Michael Che doing a double take there, realized, oh, I can go get that. So Michael K will have the power glove, which means we're 15 minutes in. Unless the Moon Pearl is on Pyramid, Aga is dead.
Yep, that at this point is really the only possibility for that Aga play. All right, so it looks like Michael is going to go ahead and head on over toward Kakariko finally.
Yeah, we'll be able to pick up a bunch of the items that they've missed. Including what would be assumed a much-needed blue mail.
Yep, and if you read Michael's bio, he hopes he only finds that blue mail.
Yeah, he does not like how the red mail coloring looks on the Inkling sprite. Which, I haven't seen it in a while, but if it looks as bad as he claims, I would find that understandable.
Alright, so JP will be able to tell us what Zora has when he gets up here. He does have those 500 rupees. We'll also be able to pick up those Titan's mitts as well, so we'll see if King Zora has that other piece of progression and see if the decision not to go to Kakariko first kind of bites Michael K here.
Well, based on everywhere we've checked thus far, we don't have anything that gives us a clear progression to move on through this seed, do we?
Not at this point, not really. The only other places that we have are these kind of like one-off locations. You can either go down to Agnes Cave or make that dip into Eastern. Aside from that, everything else isn't in the logic.
We also have not paid Zora yet. And BrewersFan will be the first to do so here. And also
All right.
Sick Kid as well. I completely forgot about that. Michael K does have that potion, so they don't have to come back to Kakariko in order to do that. Whereas Brewers will.
All right, so JP is about ready to show us what Zora has here. Is it huge or is it a scam like 99% of the time?
Just a piece of heart. But that's enough to give BrewersFan a heart container, so kind of worth? Question mark?
You know what? This early on the seed, I'd say it's worth.
Yeah, the only other heart container we've seen is at Sarasala. Oh, and Michael K doing a little bit of the chicken clip, which is just something you can do for fun. Just banish a chicken to the void.
Well, it's always fun to see that.
And does pick up their hammer as well.
And looks like we may be getting a sequence break up Death Mountain from JP here. He's setting up that way.
Well, whatever he finds up here is either lamp locked or flute locked. And this seed is being really generous with its money. Sick Kid giving you $300 just to show him a bottle.
Alright, so JP is navigating this dark room. It's really great having the sword for this. Those sparkles can really help you out and show you where you are.
And looks like they have done so successfully. They can't do much here, though. They can go to the right side, but they'll probably go into Hera. And they can full clear Hera as well.
Yep, Hera's full clearable. We do have access to all of East Death Mountain right now with that hammer, so we can get those checks out of the way as well. So this could be a pretty good play here for JP.
Stone is asking who is Michael K's sprite. It is the Inkling from Splatoon, if I'm looking at it right. Spectagrock only having 20 rubies inside. What was outside? It's just some bombs.
Alright, looks like Michael is going to be heading on over to Eastern Palace, and we do have our map check. Turtle Rock is our red crystal, green pendant in Palace of Darkness, and Swamp and Thieves Town are our blue and red pendants.
Alright, so we were dead wrong. That ice rod's gonna come into play huge here. But now the question is, where are the medallions for our two now required medallion dungeons? And which ones do we actually need?
Yeah, only time will tell.
Indeed. And we are seeing Eastern play from Michael K, staying within the logic. And no basement just yet. We're going up.
Oh, and JP does take a fall there, unfortunately, from those beetles.
Yeah, they are quite annoying to deal with.
Yeah, thankfully, since they're all dead, he doesn't have to.
My goodness. Did you see what was in Eastern?
That was the Moon Pearl, and Michael's wondering, do I just leave or do I go? And he's just going to leave Eastern.
I would have personally stayed around Eastern just to see if there was something else to put that could be progression in there, and then leave. But we'll see if this pays out for him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see when JP decides to go to Eastern Palace. So it looks like he's been trying to avoid that area altogether so far.
Probably wants to find the bow so that you can attempt to clear Eastern in one pass. And unfortunately, with the small key and now that map, the basement does have something, as does Moldorm. And wisely set the crystal switch so that they have access to all those pots there. Each one has a heart underneath it. Very wise to do so, considering that they only have 4 hearts to work with.
And very good Moldorm fight there from JP. Super clean. And just a arrow capacity upgrade, so we'll likely see JP dip back in here to head down to the basement here.
Yeah, has Samaria so that they can easily set up the coffee break strategy, and has the fire rod to actually make the chest appear. Some people will opt to use bombs instead, but you can, for the Samaria block, is not only faster, but you can basically don't have to wait out the fuse. Of the
Yeah,
bomb.
you have a lot more control with that Samaria block.
Oh!
Oh, unfortunately, it gets closed in there, so you're gonna have to play it a little bit safe here.
Now, he can do another strat here, but it's a little bit lazy. Michael K, meanwhile, picking up a 20 rupee in Skull Woods. With the exception of that one tile in the upper right corner, he can hold the sword out and he will auto-stab each tile as it comes towards him.
Yep, you can even place that Samaria block right there on that middle block there, and it'll absorb quite a few tile hits from hitting you as well.
And there is our second item in Skull Woods at 300 rupees. And a second bottle for Brewers.
And Michael looks like they are going to go and check the bumper cave ledge right now. See what's up here. See if they need that cape for any special items.
And the cape is only blocking a piece of heart. But I'm pretty sure that everyone would like it for the safety. It's one of the better ones to have for Ganon.
Yeah, and Michael's going to go ahead and do some of the mirror spots here first. We're going to get a chance to see what the graveyard ledge is.
Yeah, but for those just tuning in, Michael K found the Moon Pearl right away in Eastern and just left. So there could be something in there still, we just don't know.
And that slow walk in the Spiral Cave for JP didn't really come up with anything, but we still have the Paradox Cave here. There are 7 chests in here that we have access to.
Yep. And what do we have here in our first 2 items as we find an arrow booster on Michael K's end? We find the Kate. So right there it is. Yes, Daichi, I hope I'm saying that right. Agawan is 100% dead.
Alright, so there's another heart container and our red shield.
I love that fire shield.
And nothing else. So, I mean, with that, it seems that the sequence break up Death Mountain didn't really do much aside from girding JP his first crystal.
And something I'm noticing here real quick regarding our pendants and crystals. There could absolutely be a medallion on pedestal and we wouldn't know it. And it might be required for our progress into Mire and for Turtle Rock.
And good news here for JP, he's heading over towards that eastern area. So if he decides to dip into Eastern Palace, then he'll be able to get the Moon Pearl, and I'll be curious to see if he dips out immediately. I would think, I think if you go into Eastern, you kind of want to go all the way through, because if you have to go back in when you get the bow later, then it's not too big of a time difference.
Well, Catfish is worth. Absolutely worth. Those are our silver arrows, ladies and gentlemen.
Alright, so no silverless Ganon today.
Oh, it depends if JP decides to look at Catfish later.
And Michael's about ready to get that other piece of heart here. Going to be a little bit upset to have them come all the way back up here and spend their hard-earned 500 rupees for that heart piece, and decides to pick it up. Gets him that extra heart container. And Michael's making their way now to what's likely going to be Hype Cave.
Alright, and Brewers does pick up the Moon Pearl and chooses to move on.
Alright, so we'll see if that early dive out of Michael K from Eastern Palace is gonna, come back to hurt them later. If JP finds another good progression item in here, I mean, there's really good items still out there. There's the bow, there's the hook shot. Any of those medallions for Turtle Rock or Misery Mire can be in here.
Oh, we're starting with the red potion in High Cave, and oh no, there's the red mail.
And there we go, he bombs that chest.
But finds the boots as well, and it's gonna keep bombing the chest. And yeah, looking at that red mail sprite for this Inkling, I can see why. Yeah, that one does not look that great. So the second item in Eastern was just a piece of heart. And we might be able to get the third item here in the big chest. Otherwise, it is lamp locked. And there's Master Sword at Stumpy. And there's our third item, 300 rupees. So Michael K made a wise choice, actually.
Yeah, dip it out of Eastern. It's not gonna come back to hurt him.
And the Cave South Grove has what it's supposed to have, a piece of heart.
Yeah, and this early, I do not blame Michael to go and grab that piece of heart. Don't have much health. You don't know where the health is going to be, and you've got a few dungeons available to you. One of them being Thieves' Town, which is a pendant, but is one of the more dangerous dungeons. A lot of the enemies in there do 2 hearts of damage. So if you can get a little edge by picking up some heart pieces, then go for it.
Another edge JP has is that fire shield, because that is really good to have against blind themselves. And this is quite a long dig game here. What is our prize going to be?
I'm thinking rupees at this point. Or a heart container.
Yeah,
I'll
heart
take
container.
it.
That looked like it was upwards of 25 plus. I wasn't keeping count. And getting a spin speed, very nice.
All right, looks like JP is going to head on up into Skullwoods, and looks like Michael K is going to be heading back into the Dark World as well. We'll see if Michael decides to go down to Thieves' Town now, or with a little bit more health, decides to go into Skullwoods.
Okay. Brewer's just taking a casual walk through the woods.
You know what? This makes sense for JP to do this. He did find that cape as a sequence break, so it's a really good check to go and just get this one out of the way. Make sure there's nothing on there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it looks like he's making pretty much the same routing choice that Michael did coming through here.
Only a bomb booster from the chess game.
And with Thieves' Town being a pendant, it would not surprise me to see either of these runners at least checking the front 4 chests in Thieves' Town for an item. They got the mirror, and it's a pretty quick check to go in there and do.
Yeah, I completely agree with that line of play. And if you, even then, it's a relatively fast dungeon with boots.
Yeah, those 4 chests are pretty much rapid fire chests with those boots. You get you can get them out of the way in about a minute's time.
And even then, if you go in the back, you have the hammer, so you can full clear.
And that looks like that is what Michael is gonna do. So we find that small key. So unfortunately, we won't get that wonderful small key being locked in the big chest thing today.
And that chest only having 3 bombs.
All right, so we do have JP going into Skullwoods now.
Yeah, we know that both of the items in here are just rupees because of Michael K. That being one of the stashes. And there's a map for Michael as well. So this just has to be the big key. So only 1 item out of the first 4.
Yeah, I think you go to the back now.
I think you have to go to the back. And Michael wisely grabbing the key at the end of the hall. If you're feeling like gambling, I think you can actually leave that key behind to try and get and just skip the big chest and hope it has nothing in it. But with this early small key, there's no reason to do so. And very nice dash.
Gets that God Pixel there, Michael K. Absolutely beautiful there.
Yeah, very nicely done. Alright, so we're in the attic of Thieves Town. And there's our compass. So Blind does have an item.
Yep, so the blind has an item. There's going to be an item in the Maiden's chest as well as the big chest. So
it is absolutely worth coming in here to do a full clear, unless all the items are junk. But they obviously don't know that.
And our stun prize pack today, 20 rupees.
Not bad. They have more than enough rupees for this seed, though.
Alright, so what will the Maiden's chest have here?
The lamp!
Well, I would say that's worth.
That is absolutely worth, and that puts everything Brewers did in logic. And Brewers is also in Thieves Town right now.
Yes, he'll be able to pick up that lamp here very shortly as well.
Only 50 bucks in Blind's big chest.
Yeah, so if nothing else, that lamp is going to be... I mean, it's not... If you know how to do the dark rooms, it's not 100% required, but boy, is it going to be very welcome to find.
Lamp is also a much more efficient fire source, so if they need to use one, they'll use that instead.
And Michael getting some really lucky heart drops there, able to top off before Blind. I wish I was that lucky.
Yeah, and is equipping the red potion as a safety. Does not look like they know the scripted blind fight. To be fair, I don't either.
Yeah, that spin at the beginning kind of threw off the scripted fight a little bit.
Yeah, I need to learn that. But an excellent fight there.
And a vanilla heart container. So lamp is all that we found here in Thieves Town, but that lamp is going to be pretty huge for navigating some of these dark rooms later on in the seed.
Yeah. And for those new to the randomizer, we do not expect you to do dark rooms, so the lamp is required in pretty much every seed. The runners might not think so, but it's required in terms of the logic.
And Michael, now with those boots, can check out the Bonk Rocks and the King's Tomb with that mirror.
All right, let's see what we got here. Just some money in the Bonk Rocks.
JP's got to be really careful here. He's got one heart left. And unfortunately, he doesn't have the luxury of the boots to make these hallways just a little bit safer that Michael did, but should still have that red potion.
I think Brewers has... No, Brewers only has one.
Yeah, he's got the potion and a B. Ooh, but there's powder.
Yeah, that would have been nice to have after during the sound. A lot of anti-fairs there to heal from, and as well as bunny beams.
And that also gives us access to the magic bat as well. We have the hammer, so we can actually check it from the light world, and Michael might be heading that way to do that right now. Never mind. I'm wrong.
No, Michael, with the glove and lamp, is now going to start doing Hera as well as Death Mountain. Which is the more item-dense location, so I cannot blame them for this. They'll probably route in Magic Bat when they decide to do the Smith Loop later. Because that is just a very clean check to do. And you're in the area anyway.
Indeed. Alright, so JP is on the blind fight. Let's see if he can get this scripted fight here. And looks like he just got off of it a little bit there too. But so far so good. He has that cape for invincibility should he need it.
Also,
and looks like he's not going to risk it.
Yeah, and he also had the fire shield to block all of those fireballs, so fairly easy fight.
And picks up their red pendant, so I'll be interesting to see where JP goes from here. I mean, likely down to the digging game and you know, grabbing that master from Stumpy and heading over to Hype Cave. But from there, I don't know. I mean, with the hammer, I would be. I mean, even though it's a pendant, I would be kind of tempted to go into pod. But I mean, there's really no good choices at this point.
You know what dungeon I'd actually be tempted to go into, and on a gamble, I might add.
Oh,
Swamp?
please don't say swamp.
I'm gonna say swamp actually. We have everything we need except the hookshot, and for all we know, hookshot could be in those first few chests.
Yep, I mean, we do have full access to swamp aside from, you know, the back portion.
And yes, Boots, we're at Hype Cave. Brewers fan looks like they're on their way there.
But yeah, me and Swamp Palace, we don't have that great of a relationship, so.
Choosing to ignore the heart container or the heart piece rather, in that cave.
You know, I mean, at this point, I mean, I don't blame him. We've got 8 hearts so far. I mean, that's a decent amount of health. I mean, you're getting up there. Likely going to find more later on in just locations that you're going to check in these dungeons, so.
And there is the Master Sword for JP. I keep sometimes calling him Brewers as well, but JP is what he prefers to be called.
Yeah, and Michael getting that Moldorm fight down and picks up their 10 capacity upgrade.
And that is the Moldorm down as well. So both runners have finished the same 2 dungeons. Now the question is, which one is next?
Alright, so Michael is going to go in and check the basement here. Going to be a little bit disappointed. But there is JP's Red Mill and Boots from Hype Cave.
Not to mention their 3rd bottle with the red potion in it. And Michael K using the red meringue to set up the coffee break strat.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's not as easy to time.
Yeah, and that's not one that you see very often, that red meringue. So it's pretty neat to see him pull it out here.
Well, the main advantage to using the red boomerang is that it has more range. I think it goes full screen.
Yeah, it's full range and costs 0 resources to use.
Yeah, that's the other benefit. And there is Michael K's third bottle. It looks like Brewers, or JP rather. I'm gonna try to say what he wants to be called more. Looks like JP is heading over to Catfish, and that means they will have silver arrows as well.
It's looking more and more that they're gonna have to dip into another pendant dungeon to try to find progression here. Question is it pod or is it swamp?
I'm gonna say swamp, because if you're bowlocked from the first chest with something like the map, then you're not gonna get much out of. Well, you're not gonna get anything out of Palace of Darkness. But with swamp, you're guaranteed, I think, 4 chests at the start without having the hook shot.
Yep, there's 4 chests that you are guaranteed to be, in the logic. Now with pod, you can do this interesting potion glitch and full clear it without the bow, but once again, all of that would be a sequence break.
Yeah, I'm talking strictly plays to be done in the logic, but they could absolutely try to sequence break pod. And there is the fire shield for Michael K. Done with the mountain. They are going to save and quit. And, well, where are they going to go next?
All right, well, they are starting here at Link's house, and looks like they're going to head on over towards the Eastern Palace and Palace of Darkness area.
Yeah, Michael K did not get those 2 items, if you recall, but we know that they are not worth it. However, when they're done, they can go south here real quick and go to pod. Oh no, they're just gonna go straight for pod. Never mind.
And I really do like this play from Michael because, he didn't finish up Eastern Palace, and with that mirror, you can finish up your checks in Eastern Palace here once you're done in pod, or vice versa, check Eastern first and then go into pod.
Yeah, very, very heads up play there. I approve of this. And now it's time to say hello to everyone's favorite monkey, Kiki. As JP gets their powder. And that's something we haven't seen yet either, is the magic bat.
Yeah, I mean, like you said earlier, they're probably waiting to check that until they can get a few more checks out of it as well. With either the hammer pegs or the blacksmiths and stuff like that.
But a thought just occurred to me. What if Magic Bat is our progression? What if it has the Titan's Mints? But we are not immediately... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine, go ahead.
We are not immediately key locked or bow locked in pods just yet. There'll be a few more chests here, and that puts it on par with checking Swamp House.
Alright, so JP is going immediately to that magic bat. Will that be progression here?
The magic bat has just a piece of heart. Not worth it. And there's Ether.
It's another interesting find, having Ether there. Where's JP heading? Is he gonna go and do Spike Cave?
Has the cape. Might as well. It's in logic.
Yeah, it seems like he's wanting to do all these overworld locations instead of having to dip pendant dungeons. I mean, I can't blame him. You never really want to dip pendant dungeons if you can avoid them.
And here
And
we
looks
go.
like Michael setting up that, yeah, the potion glitch here. Very nicely done.
And Spiky not paying out, just a bomb booster. And there's the big key. So the big key, he is bow locked. And something else to note, Michael K did have another small key, so the backside of Palace of Darkness was technically available. Okay. I'm not going to question how Michael K jumped on midair.
Yeah, that's one of those that always makes me scratch my head and think, how does that work?
Well, in the case of the sprite, it's just a squid jump. And there's another key for Michael. Alright, that's all the small keys.
Yep, so the south chest here is going to have an item in it, or a dungeon item. It's going to have something in it that isn't a key.
It's our bow!
Oh my goodness!
So, logically, you had to go all the way into Thieves Town, or not Thieves Town, Pod for this bow, but the key logic was there.
It was. So that that potion glitch sequence break that Michael K did is probably going to pay off here, because it's going to be less backtracking in Palace of Darkness.
Well, actually, have we seen the compass yet? Or the map?
I believe so.
Yeah, 5 rupees. Not quite worth it. Choosing to walk away, though. Done with Palace of Darkness.
That's a really interesting choice. There's one more item on Helmosaur.
And we see that Brewers fan, or JP rather, bleh. I'm going to be doing that a lot, I'm sorry. We'll begin their bow soon, and we have the runners just basically going back over each other's spots here, so Real quick, I'm gonna want to mention here, if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing here with these two runners, make sure to give them a follow. They are putting on an excellent race for us tonight. And real quick, also, shoutouts to Nailing, who has been our tracker. They have been doing an excellent job keeping those items up to date for you guys.
Alright, so we are back to the action here now. Will JP clear this dungeon, or will he leave it alone? Oh, he doesn't have the big key, that's right. He needs the bow to get to it.
Well, it's fine. The big chest is only 5 rupees.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that, so he may go all the way back there looking for an item.
And he doesn't also have ether yet, it looks like.
No, because that was in the, I believe that was in the bow luck section as well. Or no, that was, the vanilla big, key chest.
Yeah. And we are... Oh, well, that's right. Eastern is the crystal, so... Both runners will be going to Eastern as soon as they're done to get that Armos Knight kill. And with Silver Arrows, blinking you'll miss them, really.
Yep, 1 arrow per Armos Knight will pop each of them. Alright, so JP is going to be doing that back trick here.
I'm sorry, but I'm okay instinctively going for the no silvers NMG strat.
Yeah, we actually saw him practicing that here before the race here, so...
Must have forgot that they had silver arrows.
Alright, so looks like Michael is going back into pod, and we'll be cleaning this up here.
Yeah, leave no stone unturned right at this point. Because in terms of items we still need, we actually... Well, we need the hook shot for to finish Gan's Tower, and we need the flute. Ether might be enough, and we also, of course, need the Tinesman. I almost forgot that. And there's ether for brewers. Or that. I said it again.
It's all right. It's all right.
In any case, we might just need this one ether medallion for our Misery Mire internal rock requirements, but we won't know that until we find the means to get to the dungeons and check with our eyes. And both runners are going to be fighting almost our king roughly the same time. Brewers is just a couple rooms behind. And this is for green pendant, so Sarasla could have an item as well.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see if Sahasrahla has something. I mean, Sahasrahla to me is like one of those, it's like, so it rarely happens, but there's always going to be that one chance that it's going to be, so you always want to check green pendant, and then you're sorely upset because you could have avoided it. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, in this case, given that the pendant did not leave this section of the map, it is a relatively clean check in terms of routing.
Yeah, that was a very nice turtle room there for JP.
And one silver to the face. Bye-bye, Humble Sir King. And the item that they will be receiving is the Book of Medora.
Ooh, that is huge.
That is very interesting. That not only lets them check pedestal, but also the tablets. And gives them access to Desert Palace, which they can full clear at this point.
Yeah, that's a very interesting drop here from the Humster King.
Alright, so what does Saharasala have? Just some money. Apparently there was a finder's fee for that heirloom that he was willing to pay.
Alright, so book in hand. I would imagine Michael would check the Bombos tablet and then head on over towards Desert. Looks like they may just be heading towards Desert, though.
Yeah, Bombos tablet is one of those that's kind of awkward to check. But it's really clean to do it at the end of the Smith loop series to checks, which you check the Smiths, you check Purple Chest, and then you can just walk over to the left and check Bombos if you have the means. And that looks like arrows on the ledge.
Yep, that was, I believe it was either arrows or an arrow capacity upgrade. Yeah, it was just arrows, so not much there. Will our progression be here in Desert?
Let's find out. And someone is asking, can it be mitts on pedestal? Oh, yeah, you're right. Actually, they're right. Actually, it could be mitts on ped. It could also be one of our medallions that we need for Maya or Turtle Rock if they are different from Ether. And it could also be the flute. The only item that we need that it cannot be at pedestal is the hook shot. Because that locks Scope or Swamp Palace. And there is Armo's Nice down for JP.
Alright, so JP about ready to go pick up his 50 rupees from that green pendant. Meanwhile, Michael is making their way through Desert Palace.
We have a question in chat about going for all 3 pendants. You do. I don't think so, because one of them is Swamp, and in order to get that last pendant, you need to have the hook shot anyway. In which case, we don't know where that is. So until we see it, Ped is going to be locked to us, and we really shouldn't concern ourselves. But knowing previous habits of the randomizer, some people will usually check pedestal after they defeat Mothula, who is required in the seed.
Yep, looks like JP is going to do that Bombos tablet in the Desert check here.
Alright.
And what is our special Bombos item of the day? It's a big 20.
Yeah, that is unfortunately not a very good price. And ooh, I don't think Michael did this either. We're seeing Agana.
Yeah, JP is the first one over here to Agnes Cave.
Now that's rude. Bombing the old man. Oh, he had a bomb bag in his back room, so it doesn't really matter.
All right, Michael on to the Land Mullis fight. Silver arrows in hand.
Little early with their first shot, so gonna have to make it a second pass here. And getting trolled by the third one a little bit. But
There we go.
And the Lambos have another heart container.
All right, so desert was not where we needed to go.
Which means it's ether?
Yeah, it could be ether or
pedestal because hookshot is in swamp. I think that's our only other options here.
yeah, I think you're right. We have the ether tablet and we have Swamp Palace at this point.
Because we have no access anywhere else without the Titan's Mints. So this is quickly turning into a very interesting sea here.
Alright, so where does Michael go now?
It looks like Michael will be doing Magic Bat. Considering they went to Sanctuary instead of the mountain. And then maybe going to check Pedestal afterwards.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea. You can even go to Skull Woods like you mentioned before and just clean that up if you're going to be going up to the pedestal anyway.
Alright. So Brewers Fan is now entering the back half of Desert. Going to be quickly heading over to Lamola's.
And Michael saves and quits. So we won't be seeing that pedestal or Skull Woods play quite yet.
I think they're gambling. Yeah, this is looking like a gamble into Swamp Palace.
You know, at this point, it's a really good gamble.
Oh, no, wait. Bombos tablet.
Well, you could easily do both of them together here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you don't find anything here on the Bombos tablet, you may consider dipping into Swamp. Even without that hook shot, like you said earlier, there's at least four chests that you can check, each of which could hold the progression or even that hook shot as well.
And not quite the one cycle for JP there, but does get the Lambo skill on the second pass. Very nicely done.
Yep, and Michael is heading back over that way, so we will be seeing that swamp play now. Alright, so does JP take the same risk here?
It looks like JP will be heading Somewhere nearby. I don't know. Might be going to Skull Woods to finish that off and then check Pedestal. So one way or the other, we'll know where our progression lies.
Yeah, so far this has been a very interesting seed where all 3 pendant dungeons have been dipped at this point.
Yeah.
It's not something you really get a chance to see in, you know, pretty much a game mode outside of Key Sanity.
Yeah, but in Key Sandy, at least every chest is at least some value.
Yeah, indeed.
Or I should say potential value. Alright, so if JP has kept it in their memory, they know that they just need to go to the moth. And did at least pick up a small key, so we'll not have to worry too much about the doors going forward. Second item here in Swamp is just an arrow booster. And very good heads-up play here from BrewersFanJP. Using Ether to kill the Gibdos. That is not something I see a lot of people do. And it is actually quite effective. If you try to use the Ice Rod on them, they just straight up freeze, but Ether just kills them outright.
Yeah, it's a really nice way to take out all those enemies in there. Those Gibdos, the Wallmaster. If you have Bombos, you can use Bombos there as well. A little bit slower because you have that burning animation to go through, but it's still effective.
Yeah, Bombos is not an ideal one, though, because in addition to the burning animation having to play out, it's also the longest casting animation. And Moth is not playing nice, hugging those corners. But down goes the Moth. No, Michael did not drown that key. There was no way for him to do so.
Yep, the only way that you can flood the key is if you have the hookshot coming into Swamp Palace, because you can sequence break a key to gain access to those doors over there.
But because we don't have the hookshot yet, he has to do this the long way. Alright, folks. It is time for the pedestal hype. As we find the big key in Swamp, the pedestal is our glove! This is a pedestal seed, ladies and gentlemen. And that means Michael K is about to stumble upon the hookshot.
Well, he may not. There's still the Ether Tablet. The hookshot could be on that Ether Tablet on Death Mountain.
Oh, you're right. I completely forgot about that.
And that's where JP is going right now.
Make sure to check it beforehand. But there it is.
There we have it. There's hookshot for Michael. He'll be able to clean up this dungeon and go pull that pedestal.
But what is here at Ether Tablet then?
At this point, I'd probably say rubies.
Yeah, it's just a piece of art.
Same thing, right?
So now JP knows the hookshot's here. Now, there is absolutely no way that Michael does not know that this is a pedestal seed. Because they cannot reach any other locations at this point. Even if they have find the flute in here.
Yeah, no, that is a very good point. I mean, the likelihood of a pedestal seed right now for Michael is extremely high. You know, once he checks these last few chests and doesn't find those Titan's mitts, then
well, Titan's mitts
they'll
are
know
on
it for
pedestal.
sure. But Michael doesn't know that.
True.
So he has to check these chests first.
Did Michael skip the big chest?
Nah, he grabbed a big chest.
Then Huh.
Maybe he thinks he skipped it, or...
Yeah, probably. Second guessing himself. Alright. That makes a little bit more sense. As far as I'm aware, Nayli, you have not missed a single thing. Alright, so I have a question for you, Arija, I believe it is?
RJ.
RJ. We know that it's Titan Mitts on pedestal at this point. The next step that I see is that we need to find the flute so that we can access Meyer. Where do you think that flute's gonna be?
Ice Palace. Definitely Ice Palace at this point. Well, I mean, not definitely, but I would be... yeah, Ice Palace would be my guess. Now, to be honest, I can see either of these runners dipping Turtle Rock because it's full clearable and has a lot more item density there, but my gut right now is telling me Ice Palace.
I'm gonna say it's not in a dungeon at all. I'm gonna say it's in the Dark Death Mountain region. Because we also will have access to that, and Turtle Rocks also happens to be in the area. So combine those two, the overworld and the dark world, and the... Yeah. What I'm trying to say is, combine Dark Death Mountain with Turtle Rock, that is, what, 15 different items that could be progression?
Yeah, it's definitely the higher density play.
So, yeah, BrewersFan will begin the hookshot here soon. Oh, someone's calling for flute in Pyramid Cave. That is possible.
Yeah, and that would be the icing on top of the cake for this seed.
Yeah, this one is up there in the levels of trolling that it's doing to our runners. Which is unfortunate, but what can you do? Like, okay, double checking to make sure egg is absolutely not required. And JP now with the hook shot in tow.
One of us likes peanut butter. All right. Thank you, Lumberjack. I'm glad we know that now.
Oh, did they change that message? Or is it also randomized? I remember talking to them one time, and it was one of us tells the truth and one of us always lies, respectively. You know, that classic riddle.
Yeah.
So interesting to know that those also have different things they can say.
All right,
It
so
looks
looks like Michael is going to combine the Skull Woods into pedestal play here as well.
I mean, you're going to be in the area. You might as well.
JP inching ever so closely to that third pendant for those Titans Myths on the pedestal today.
And Michael K, having all three pendants, will be pulling the pedestal after they deal with Mothula.
This is going to be pretty close pedestal pulls here.
Yeah, it's going to come down to who can find the next progression first, I think.
Yeah, depending on how the Mothula fight goes for Michael, he might have the slight edge, but he's going to go and pull that pedestal first.
That makes perfect sense.
And here we go.
I'm expecting him to bomb the pedestal, by the way. Or just do some frustration slashes. But there's Titans Myths from Michael K. The next layer of progression has been met for him. And we'll be going to fight Mothula now.
And a very clean Argus fight there from JP.
And Michael K getting grabbed by a Wall Master.
That was rude of that Wall Master.
And actually, in terms of who's in the lead right now, I think Michael K or JP rather has eked ahead just a little bit. Sure, K was the first to pull progression, but still has to do this crystal dungeon here, whereas BrewersFan just needs to get over to pedestal and pull it.
Yeah, it looks like JP is just going to go ahead and stock up on potions right now, getting prepared for the remainder of this seed. Not wanting to worry about anything else coming along and messing up the remainder of this. So, I mean, you have 3 of the toughest dungeons left to complete. May as well go and do it.
Yeah, this is unfortunately was not a kind seed. And I honestly would not blame our runners if they had some choice words for it behind the scenes.
And that was a super slick Mothula fight there from Michael.
Alright, with the crystal in tow. Yeah, this is anyone's race at this point. It comes down to who finds, I think, the flute first. Because
Yeah,
then
and
then at that point we are in foe mode. I'm sorry for cutting you off there.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just saying that stopping for potions there gave Michael K that slight edge now, so JP is still slightly behind, but not by much. Just a matter of maybe a minute.
And it looks like Michael K will be doing the item density play.
Yeah, and I mean this is definitely the correct play to make. There's so many items up here. I mean, like you mentioned before, so many items. You have Turtle Rock that's 100% completable. Well, maybe, because we don't even know if Ether is for Turtle Rock yet.
We don't know what either medallion is for each of those 2 dungeons. But the next major progression item to find is the flute. And it looks like Brewers Fan will be tailing Michael K here in terms of what they are doing. So, chat, strap in. You've got a very close race at your hands. This could change at a moment's notice.
Yeah, with both of them pretty much making the same routes here in the later part of the seed, it could very well come down to who executes better from here on out.
And there's Bombos for Michael K. So
yeah, now unless Turtle Rock is Vanilla Quake, we'll be able to go in there now. The odds are in our favor to be able to go into Turtle Rock.
And it is Ether, the medallion we've had since the beginning. Michael K going to instead check Hookshot Cave. Might as well get it out of the way. And I don't think Michael K has also checked Spike Cave yet either.
Nope, only JP has done that.
Oh hey, we found the swag net.
Alright, so nothing really important here in the Hookshot Cave, so on to Turtle Rock it is.
And it looks like JP does have a little bit more better execution. Because just look at their routing. They are pretty clean here. And is about to enter K within a matter of maybe 15 seconds at most. What are we looking for at this point? We are looking for the flute, and if it's required for Misery Mire, Quake.
So, if you find Flute, do you just chance it and go mode everything you can? Considering you have, 67% chance that you have the medallion for Misery Mire?
I personally would not. Depending, but it really depends on the dungeon. A race I did yesterday, in fact, had a Mire required Quake, and it was on Laser Bridge here in the Turtle Rock, but it was a pendant. And the flute to get to Mire to check that medallion was actually in the Fire Rod area in this first floor. And it ended up catching both the runners in that race for a loop. And even then, Turtle Rock, with it being a crystal, is not one you would ever try to skip chests in. Because you need to make sure you don't miss a key accidentally.
Yeah, makes sense.
And just like that, I think BrewersFan has, once again, pulled ahead through execution. They're in the same room.
Now, if any of the seeds that I've played recently are any indication, Chain Chomp Room is, for some reason, seems to always have something in it, whether it's the big key or a progression item. Let's see if it kind of holds true here.
Yeah, chain jumps are really devastating here. And they can get out of sync real fast if you're not careful. In this case today, it's just the map.
So at this point, the big key is going to be in its vanilla spot, so we won't be able to steal a key from the Pokey and head on into the dungeon further.
And it also is a risk to skip the big chest, because that would also potentially have a small key that we need to get down to, or past Laser Bridge and then to Trinex. And there is the powder coming into play for our runners, using it to get a little bit of extra health. And it looks like Michael K took the wrong pipe at the start.
Yeah, it could be seeing a little bit of nerves coming into play. It's getting into the seed, and you don't really expect to have to, pull pedestal duty here.
Yeah, well, this is 1 and 2. They are at the minimum amount of losses they can, or the maximum amount of losses rather they can take before they are more than likely not going to make it into the bracket stages. So there's a little bit of pressure in terms of wanting to advance and stay alive in the tournament. But of course, some people are doing this just for fun. And hey, if you want the experience, that's also something you can have.
Indeed.
Pokeroom is being a little bit of a troll. And hello there, Shovel. How's it going? Shovel being in the Turtle Rock big chest.
So could the flute scoop up the flute?
Very well, good. We might have a vanilla flute. Or it could just be right there.
Yeah, right there. That works.
Alright, so it is not go mode yet, folks. We need to confirm what the medallion is for Misery Mire. Or if BrewersFanJP just happens to stumble onto Quake on Laser Bridge, then it is a true go mode, in which case we don't care about the medallion. We have all three, we can just go in.
Yeah, and Michael K not too far behind. Will be picking up their shovel and their flute here very shortly. Ooh, this is a race. This is a really great race between these two runners.
Yeah. Goes to show you that even the low record races are some that you want to watch.
It looks like Michael K was taking a death warp there.
Alright. Last chest is the small key.
Whew. JP, so close there, bud.
Yeah, JP, I would not blame him if he wants to go take that safety door.
Yeah, you really got to be careful in this room too. There is a soft lock that can happen if you get knocked off, and get hit by the laser as you fall into that pit. You can actually soft lock and have to restart from the last time you saved.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yep, that happened to a good buddy of mine who's in this tournament as well. Happened their first week.
Alright, well, we're getting into the Trinex fight. Ice Rod at the ready. Will we be seeing a bit of a menu boss here and going for hammer strats, or are we going to see sword slashes?
Without half magic, definitely gonna be seeing hammer.
Yeah. It will take 5 hammer swings total. And I'm just gonna chime in with this. I was such a scrub growing up. I always thought you had to use the rods just to destroy the heads, and it was just a painful experience. But then I realized, oh hey, the sword works on them once you hit them. Anyway, Fire and Ice down for BrewersFanJP. Now just has to deal with the snake body.
Get some really good hammer swings in there. And perfect fight there from JP.
Yeah, very nicely done.
And looks like it is time to go and activate that flute and head down to Misery Mire and see if we have the required medallion.
That is correct. The medallion here for Turtle Rock was Ether. Let's see what the medallion is going to be for Mire.
You know, just because the seed's been awful so far, I would love to see it be Quake.
I don't want him to be mean. I want him to be Bombos. No, actually, no. I take that back. I want it to be Ether as well, so that we can get the infamous bird toss.
Alright, so we have our flute activation here from JP, and Michael K is going to go and get stocked up on some fairies here.
Smart play. There are a couple fairies back here. So very good heads-up knowledge that they exist, and using the bug net to their advantage. Also, yeah, All Rise or Slag Duck. We didn't hear the anthem, unfortunately. So, moment of truth for Brewers. Is he in go mode? Misery Mire requires Bombos!
Bombos!
We are in go mode. And where was Bombos again? Oh, it was up on the mountain.
Yeah, Bombos was Dark Death Mountain.
So going to the mountain was absolutely the correct play. Could have gambled it over in the Ice Palace area, but no, we can go mode Ice Palace. And that's actually probably what factored into their decision as well, is wanting to go mode that dungeon.
Oh, Michael trying to get that fairy with that bug net. Unfortunately, the fairy decided, nope, I'm just going to dodge your net and fly right into you. Now, will we get to see the Godmire today?
I really hope so. These runners have been put through enough. Compass in the first chest. And the Trinex fight now for Michael K. Opting to start with the Fire Rod.
You know, I don't blame him. You know, the the ice from the ice head here can be a big pain, and if you can just get it out of the way, you know, more power to you. Keep the room safe.
Yeah, it does make the fight a little bit more dangerous. But at the same time, it makes the fight a lot safer as well. Oh!
Oh, and Michael runs out of magic. He's got to mirror out.
That is super unfortunate.
Meanwhile, JP still hasn't found that big key.
Yeah, he
So
is gonna
this,
be looking. Yep, go on.
see, so this seed is still keeping some tricks up its sleeve.
There's the big key, though. Want to say this the compass chest?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, time for try next round 2 for Michael K. Why is he picking up some extra magic there?
Micah's got to be really careful here. He's got enough for, I believe, 3 more fire rod shots. Or ice rod shots, I should say.
Yeah, has to be extremely careful. Should probably try to do him as close as possible to maximize damage. I don't think they have enough. Yeah, they're dead.
Nope, they have the fairies, but that ice rod shot's gonna miss that firehead there.
Yeah, at this point, I would walk out of the safety hole. Oh, no, wait, that's gonna be a problem. No, they have to do this. I was saying just go and get some potions, but that is a long trip to do without touching the Dark World.
Alright, well, we do have JP on to the vitreous fight. Silver arrows makes this fight so trivial.
Yeah. Silver arrows are just really broken on most bosses. And that is crystal number 6 for JP.
Yeah, and just like that, we are on our way toward Ice Palace. JP won't have to check anything in there, unless he wants to try to find a sword. But you're likely to find a sword while looking for the big key in Ganon's tower, so may as well just go about it.
Yeah, they already have all the swords they need by the logic. But Temper would speed up the fight against Ganon considerably, I will admit that.
Well, I mean, the logic does actually require for you to have a tempered sword for Ganon, but Master Sword is one of the ones that is doable.
I've actually been told otherwise. It's been set to Master and Silver's required. Now I don't know which one's right.
And unfortunately, Michael runs out of magic again.
Yeah. Unlike JP, Michael did not stock up on potions before heading up the Death Mountain, which would have helped him out considerably, all things considering. You would have probably not had to mirror out of this boss fight repeatedly. Alright, Ice Palace Bone Jump for JP. This Does not get it just yet.
There we go, third try.
Alright. And just over half of the magic necessary for this. Come on, get in there. 2 hits. Missing, missing. Oh, that's gonna do it for this attempt. It looks so good, but just missed 3 shots in a row. And I think they are going to cut their losses. Yeah.
Yeah, looks like they're gonna go and get some potions and stock up here. Man, that's really unfortunate for Michael.
It's unfortunate not just because that failed. What am I trying to say? It's unfortunate not just because that they had to go get these potions. It's also unfortunate that because they did a save and quit, they've lost their portal, and they couldn't keep it anyway. So they'll have to go through the entirety of Turtle Rock again. And meanwhile, we're fighting the last crystal boss here on Brewers Fan inside. You know what that means, RJ?
We're getting pretty close to it. Gotta make it through this fight, though. JP's looking really low on health.
I think JP did grab a fairy at some point. And if not, he's got a potion. All right.
There we go.
That's the 7th crystal down, and ladies and gentlemen, we have a game we like to play here.
Yeah, so there are 22 locations inside of Ganon's Tower where that big key can be found. Now, everybody here is more than welcome to participate in our fun little guessing game that we like to have. Now, if you have subscribed to any of the speed gaming channels or have donated 250 bits, you have the option to make it onto our leaderboard and have your correct guesses archived throughout this tournament. So go ahead and get your guesses in there. So I do need to ask Wolflink, where do you think this big key may be today?
As much as I hate to say it, this season's been incredibly trolly, and I have a feeling that it's going to troll the runner some more. I'm going to say that it's on Tile Room.
Oh, going with Tile Room. Well, how about this? I'll go the exact opposite. I'm going to say chest number 2.
Being kind to the runners after all the trolling. Yeah, let's just go with both ends of the spectrum there.
You see, I like chest number 2 because the other 2 swords at this point are likely going to be somewhere in Ganon's Tower. And if it's in an early chest, we could completely skip out on them, which could be the last kind of hurrah from this seed.
Alright, folks, and just so you're aware, we are going to be stopping the game as soon as we see the first chest opened on our end here, so make sure you get your guesses in time. And they got maybe 30 more seconds. And we see that Michael K has deviated and gone to Mystery Mine in the meantime.
You know, once again, I don't blame Michael for doing this. Turtle Rock was being quite a pain. So this is a dungeon where you can go through and kind of clear your head and get refocused for the battle to come.
All right, now you're seeing Ganon's Tower here. We're gonna start by seeing left side first. And the first chest is 20 rubies, and the second chest is our 4th and final bottle. We have to go left side.
All right, so my guess is out of the way.
And we have a big key on the torch. Rip Bob.
So that was our third location here. JP heading into 4 through 7 here. And 4 is the key.
5th chest is the key. 6th chest, a piece of heart, and 7th chest, the cane of Burna. Shame it showed up so late, but hey, at least you have it.
Yep, gotta fill out that inventory now.
Alright, here is chest number 8. It is just the map.
And while JP is searching for this big key here in Gas Tower, Michael K is on their way down into the Misery Mire Dark Rooms to take on Vitreous.
Alright, so now we're in this fire stake room here. Let us see what we have in store. There it is. The big key's there. That was chest number 9. And, yeah, there we go, folks.
And JP is up into the gauntlet now.
And Big City TV was our first supporter or sub to guess correctly, so congrats to you. And let us go ahead and save the... Yep, you beat me too. Good, RJ.
Yeah, so congrats there, Big City TV. But, we do have JP now heading on up toward the gauntlet. Only has Master Sword, so we'll probably see what the remaining chests in this dungeon are. I'd say the time spent checking these couple of chests is well worth it if it does have that tempered sword in it.
Yeah, we'll save a little bit of time there, but will it be enough time to come back? Probably not, if I may be honest. As we see that BrewersFan is already making quick work of this gauntlet.
And JP's having a really good gauntlet so far. He's making really quick work of this.
Yeah, was set up there to dash across, but unfortunately got hit there. And is going to powder this bunny beam here. You can only do it when they're not moving. And that's also, unfortunately, going to desync the Lambos here to prevent them from getting a good one cycle. Yeah, this looks like it's a 3-cycle Lamolas. But gets it done. Very nicely done.
Yep, very well done there from JP. Now he is into my favorite rooms of this entire game, these Wizrope rooms, using that Cane of Samaria. Such a satisfying way to kill these enemies.
Yeah, and if you don't have Cane of Samaria, but you have plenty of magic to burn, Ether works on just as well. If you don't have both, I don't know.
Better hope you have sword beams.
I mean, if you had a third medallion, a different medallion, you can do it, but I don't know if they're vulnerable to Quake or not.
I don't think so. Michael having a little bit of trouble pretty much doing what I always do on these spikes, just bouncing off of them. That conveyor belt room in Ice Palace is the worst. Alright, so JP only finding a red rupee, and there's our half magic.
So we can easily see some very fun cane strats, and I do see a fairy in a bottle for Brewers. And there's my favorite room right there, the Penguin Bowling Room. Gonna use the bomb strats, very nicely done.
Alright, so just a small key. The last chest we have is the Moldorm 2 chest for JP to hopefully find that tempered sword. Moldorm not having any of this right now. Knocking JP all over this platform.
Yeah, did not like how his hair incarnation was treated. Oh, and gets knocked down.
Yeah, that Moldorm was not playing nice this time around.
And back down he goes.
Alright, third try here on Moldorm 2.
As we see Michael K cracking open Cold Stare.
There we go. JP gets it.
Alright, are we going to loot Moldorm's last possession? We are, and it's the compass.
Alright, hope you guys love Master Sword spins, because we're going to be getting at least 28 of them. We got 12 in the first phase, 12 in the second phase. Actually, we're going to be seeing at least 32 of them. We got 4 in the third phase, and at least 28. Maybe 29 or 30, if we can get some good patterns for Ganon. Get some doubles, maybe in a triple there.
Yeah, nice double there from Agatu. And that looks like triple double.
Yeah, that was very well done there from JP. So we are now into the Ganon fight, and Michael is cleaning up Cold Stare. Does very well there right at the end. Gets that heart container, and now all that's left is going back to Turtle Rock.
Yes, in the meantime, it's time for Brewers to fight the pig. I don't remember the reference to this, but my answer to whenever he asks this is always just complete strangers.
JP getting some really good patterns here from Ganon.
Yeah, but that is not a good position for him to start the fire bets in. Not gonna get too many hits in here. This is the hard part of the fight for Master Sword Ganon.
Yeah, this fire bet phase is probably the worst.
Oh no, that's a good position though. If he uses the cape. Oh, and an even better position. Getting some easy doubles here. Alright, now for the teleport phase. If you don't hit Ganon fast enough, he will shoot that fire bat in a circle around him. Or in a spiral, rather. So you have to be really on your toes here.
Alright, so we are into phase 4 now.
Find the arrows in dark mode. Yes, we did, Ganon. They were at our beloved catfish and getting the torch glitch, so wanting to save up what little magic they have.
Alright, so there's 2 silver arrows. Just need 2 more, and the blue pig will be toast.
Has to dodge, so not going to be able to get a silver hit in here. That should be good for at least 1. And there we go.
And there we have it. BrewersFanJP is the winner of this race, and will be going to 2-2.
Staying alive in this tournament just a little bit longer. And has crossed through the threshold and is finished with an official SRTV time of 2 hours and 47 seconds. Get your GGs out for him. This was a great racer. Let's see if we can get him in for an interview real quick.
Alright, so we do have Michael K, who is back in Turtle Rock. Gonna try to get that revenge on Trinex.
And we shall be getting BrewersFanJP in here for their interview in just a moment. And while we are waiting here, I'm going to give one more quick shout out to our tracker, Nailing. They have been doing a great job behind the scenes, keeping those items up to date for you.
And Michael K forgot to press the switch, so can't go through that door.
And we are joined by BrewersFanJP. How... I would like to say, I apologize for how bad the scene was. You guys had a ped scene that was pretty rude. I'm not gonna lie.
I think Rude's putting it a little lightly.
Yeah, it was actually a relatively close race until Turtle Rock. In which case, your potion purchasing actually gave you an edge. Michael K chose to... Sorry, you go ahead.
Yeah, I knew I was gonna go straight for Turtle Rock after I got the mitts, so I routed in the potion purchase then.
Yes, and I'm gonna tell you this: your opponent also routed in Turtle Rock, but they did not opt to get potions, and they actually got walled by Trinex because they ran out of magic. Several times, in fact.
Oh man, that's rough.
Yeah, they're just now going to fight Trinex again, now with potions, and this will be their last crystal.
Yeah, I pulled up the restream for a second. Looks like I'm not the only one that got stuck on Master Sword.
No, we actually don't know where those swords are. If I had to guess, they're somewhere in Ganon's Tower somewhere.
Yeah, they have to be in either Ganon's Tower or both of you guys go mode at Ice Palace, so they could be in Ice Palace as well.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys literally checked every other possible location before we pretty much realized that this was a pet seed due to progression.
Yeah, I mean, I knew mitts were possible on the pedestal. I just didn't actually think it would happen.
Yeah, you were probably hoping for a hookshot or something, but it turns out hookshot was almost as deep as it could have been in Swamp Palace. It's Vanilla Dungeon.
Yeah, I mean, in addition to being a pedestal seed, they put the bow to complete pod in pod, and they put the hook shot to complete swamp in swamp.
Yeah, you were not actually key locked out of there, so that at least was something. And at least they were kind to you and not had Missouri Mario beat Quake, because that would have been a whole other can of worms.
Yeah, I know as soon as I got the flute, I could have been in go mode. I definitely kept checking chests in Turtle Rock just in case I wasn't. Plus, it wouldn't have hurt to find a tempered sword. But yeah, as soon as I saw Meyer was Bombos, I just went to go mode.
Yeah, and I know Wolflink, touched on this earlier. This was actually a really, really close race. Mike OK was actually in the lead for quite some time, but then your execution overtook him halfway through Turtle Rock, actually. 'Cause I think you made maybe a couple more checks that Michael didn't. I know you went to Spike Cave and Michael did not. But yeah, this is a extremely close race and very well done.
Yeah, I basically full cleared the world before finally realizing what I needed to do. I was actually probably a good thing. I grabbed the book in Pod. I knew I hadn't finished Mothula yet, so I could easily run a ped check. And as soon as I saw that, then I knew what I needed to do.
So that does bring you now to 2-2. How are you feeling after this win today?
I don't know. I really have not had a race in this tournament I felt super good about yet. I mean, that one nearly sub-2ing a pedestal seed like that's not bad. It just, I feel like I really need to up my game a little bit going forward.
There's always room for improvement with the randomizer. Be it just routing, execution, or just a little bit of risk with gambles. Or willing to risk, rather.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So yeah, your opponent is just now approaching the fire snake room, which did have our big key.
And wow, that collection raid 163 in a seed where it was a pedestal seed. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah, I mean, part of that is being able to go mode ice. I mean, I don't think I opened a chest in ice. Also, go mode Meyer helped, and I mean, there's a couple things that helped with that.
And it looks like Michael K and you both had 4 bottles going in. Your last one was in GT.
Yeah, the last bottle I never filled with anything. I just had the B in it.
So I'm gonna ask you this: you are, like we said, 2-2. Are you looking forward to at least attempting to try to win every single race to try and make it a bracket stages, or Are you just gonna do the rest of this for fun and see what happens?
Ideally, I'd still like to make it to the bracket. It's definitely an uphill battle from here, but I mean, it's definitely still possible. I'm just like I said, I'm gonna have to improve my execution a bit, improve my routing a bit, just try to, just try to get a little bit better. I feel like I'm a little off on my game right now, so I need to hit some practice a little harder.
That's always good to hear.
Yeah, and from what we saw today, as far as execution, your execution was really good today. So you've definitely got an edge over a lot of the people at the 2-loss bracket, or the 2-loss score right now. So
Yeah, I think my biggest thing is, well, I mean, it kind of always comes down to routing. I mean, I'm about to go watch this one back just to see kind of how Michael K did it and how he was ahead of me. I mean, it's like I said, some of it I probably gambled a little too much on the overworld. I was just trying to avoid. I was trying to avoid the pendant dungeons, I guess, but I mean, I just gotta maybe take a little deeper look at that, see if there's anything I can do to improve it. I mean, I definitely did some out of the way things that I probably shouldn't have done, but I mean, sometimes if those checks work out, we're talking a different story too.
yeah, definitely.
Apologies,
Michael,
I have to step away for a moment.
Yeah, and that was interesting. Michael showing off the powder glitch with the powder instead of the mushroom this time.
Actually, he's out of magic. Oh no, he drained his magic, I'm guessing.
Yeah, he went in there thinking he had enough magic to powder it, but didn't. So switched to the cane and then actually used the powder after the cane as well. So that was interesting to see. Normally, don't see it with the actual powder.
Yeah, I suppose so. Well, that's a little concerning for him going up the tower. I mean, they got the small pot in the next room, but hopefully he's got a way to get some magic for the torches.
Yeah, I believe he still has a blue potion left, so should be all right. But never really want to use that blue potion until you absolutely have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's enough magic decanters in the room, I think, for torch or lamp usage. Because there's one below the southern torch and there's one above it in the 2 pots.
Alright, and it actually makes pretty good use of the bow and some sword slashes to take out the first Wizrobe room.
Yeah, opting not to use their magic, which is wise here.
It's like Michael is going to go ahead and get all the little small magic containers he can get and make sure he has plenty of magic to light these torches.
Yeah, it looks like they'll have just enough magic now.
Alright, we are on torch room number 2.
Yeah, this one's the easier one.
So JP, I do need to ask, were you at all concerned with only having Master Sword? Are you comfortable with the Master Sword cannon fight, or
Master Sword Ganon for me is fine. Just, I mean, I can handle it all right. The only thing is just that it's better with Magic Cape too, which was nice. And when I found that half magic in the climb, that also helped.
Oh.
Yeah, and Michael actually skipped those chests, so we didn't get half magic here.
And
But had a very, very clean troll dorm too.
oh yeah, my Troll Dorm too. I don't know what was up in my mind with my Troll Dorm too. I think he got revenge on me because I took him down so easily the first time.
Yeah, that first fight in Tower of Prayer was super clean.
Yeah, when I was on that fight and I fell twice, I'm just getting angry at myself because it's like I hope I'm not costing myself the race here.
Alright, so here we go with the Aga 2 fight for Michael K. Has pulled out the net. Gonna have a little bit of fun with this. And there we go. Michael K has defeated Aga 2, and it is now time for them to fight the pig.
Alright, so we are on to the Ganon fight. So we get a lot of Master Sword spins here.
Alright, still in phase 1. Looks like it might be phase 2 here in just a little bit.
I made really good use of that cape there. I believe he still has a blue potion left.
Yeah, still has the blue potion and can easily go and get some more if he needs to. Unfortunately, getting tagged by that spiraling fire bat, so going to have to wait for him to stop a second time. Oh, for a second there, I thought Ganon was being a little bit rude.
Yeah, at least it was only 4 teleports.
Did not get torch glitch, and oh.
Oh, is he gonna do spins? Oh, unfortunately takes a fall.
That's really unfortunate there.
All right, so Michael looks like he's gonna go and stock up on potions and make sure that he is prepared for this final battle.
Yeah, pretty wise choice there. Doesn't want to accidentally have to do that fight again. And choosing to drop the fairy safety in place of getting more potions.
I approve.
I mean, yeah,
Oh.
with red mail and 13 hearts, that should be pretty fair assumption, as long as they are they don't accidentally get comboed. But yeah, thinking back, we didn't even check the Smith loop. Alright, so here we go with Ganon again for Michael K here. Let us see how this fight goes. It's going to be a different teleport sequence because of the fall. And wow, that trident wanted Michael. And this looks like a really good position to be in phase 2, and it is phase 2 for Michael K. Alright, that should be enough hits there for them to get this going. So going to opt to be pushing it up now. Alright, 2 hits in phase 3. Ganon being quite rude in this for this third hit. There we go. 4 hits. Unfortunately, was knocked out of position for the silverless. Oh.
Yeah, this is gonna be a bit difficult of a fight. Not having that torch glitch doing this silverless.
Well, the question is, why is Michael K going for silverless? Do they not realize that they have had silvers this whole time?
Well, I mean, if it's anything like Michael's last race that he did, you know, once he saw that his opponent had finished, he decided that he was just gonna have fun with Ganon, and he had silvers before, but blew all of his silver arrows before the fight, so he would have to do it silverless. So he's probably at this point just getting practice in.
And unfortunately, it looks like Michael K is having capture card issues. Nothing we can really do about that. But it also makes it kind of hard to commentate on what's going on.
All right, so we are continuing with these Ganon spins.
I've lost count. I'll answer that question here in chat. If you want to know the more about the randomizer, there is actually a randomizer, a Discord dedicated to the Link to Past randomizer. We're always glad to help you out. I believe it's part of one of our commands here. I think it's. Oh no, that's not it. Well, the Discord's at the end of the seed. It's public access, so just go there and you can get a lot more information regarding the Discord. And I think it's even on the BT site, right there in that last link. So.
All right, we are back on the Master Sword spins here for Michael. And there we have it. So Michael K does take down Ganon here.
Hello.
And Michael does finish with a SRTV time of 2 hours, 29 minutes, and 1 second. GG, Michael.
Yeah, thanks, GG. GG, BrewersFanJP.
GG to you as well.
And then.
Yeah, this was a very close race all throughout. Unfortunately, the big difference, I'm sure you can probably guess, Michael, was
Turtle Rock.
Turtle Rock.
Yeah, failing it 3 times or something like that. So it was.
Yeah, it was actually. I mean, there for almost the entire race, you were ahead, and JP overtook you about halfway through Turtle Rock. So he was slightly ahead on that Trinex kill, but it was still very close, even going through there.
Yeah, I did a bit abnormal gambits, so I figured I was ahead after finding bow, bits, and everything quite early.
Yeah, you guys were actually relatively close together when you guys eventually did pull the pedestal. But it started to peel away once that Turtle Rock situation happened. Which is unfortunate, but Hey, what can you do?
Well, it's part of why you lose rounds. Didn't practice them enough, I guess.
Yeah. Your opponent, Brewers fan, actually went and bought potions before heading up the Turtle Rock because he knew that he would be needing them.
Yeah, probably should have done the same.
Yeah. And something else to note, you didn't open any of the chests on the Moldorm floor. One of those was actually half magic, so you could have had that for Ganon.
I wanted to show off the low percent gunfight. Ended up not having because of some technical issues on my side.
Yeah. But yeah, you are unfortunately now 1-3. But are you at least having fun with the tournament thus far? Are you gonna keep going and try to see how far you can go?
Well, 1-3 is already one win more than I expected, so I'm fine.
That's always great to hear.
Yeah. Well, again, GG JP, and hope you have a good rest of the tournament.
Yeah, same to you.
Yeah, GG's to both of you. And again, once again, folks, if you liked what you saw here, make sure to give both of our runners a follow, as they did an excellent job. Make sure to also follow Speed Gaming 1 through 6, as well as Link to Best Randomizer, or 1 through 4. Strike off the ones there, obviously, to keep up with all of our randomizer action that we're having for you. And also make sure to give a follow here to my co-com, RJ, as well as our tracker, Naylene. I guess me too, if you want. I don't really mind it that much. But yeah, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close this off here. So, yeah, once again, this has been in the Spring Standard Tournament. I've been WolfThinks060. Joining me on CodeCom was RJ. And we shall see you all next time. And thanks for watching. Later, folks.